So there's a discussion going on Twitter, which was started by the wife of the former Labour Party gubernatorial candidate, and she was asking questions about vitamin D and African women, vitamin D, the use of sunscreens, and cancer. Okay, so I want to quickly educate people about this thing. Now, a lot of the things she said are true. Okay, because if you read the things she posted on Twitter, she was coming with facts. But what I want to now explain to you is I want to delve deeper so you can understand a lot of the things, the issues she raised better. For those people who have ever had fibroid lifestyle coaching with me, raise your hand in the comment section. Yeah. Now, if you remember when we had our fibroid lifestyle coaching, what did I tell you people about vitamin D? Take your mind back and then comment. Okay, so they were thoroughly schooled about this, so they understand perfectly. Now let me explain. You see, as an African, we have what? Melanin in our skin. Now we have melanin on our skin, and melanin acts as a barrier. It shields, like a barrier shield, sort of. Now vitamin D can be produced. Now you can get as a human being, you can get vitamin D from different sources. You can get vitamin D from your diet, you can get vitamin D from the sunlight, all right? But in the general sense of the word, in sense of it, a lot of people want to believe that the vitamin D they get is mostly from sunlight. It is not. As a matter of fact, as an African woman, if you do not use sunscreen at all, you are still going to be vitamin D deficient. And the reason is simple: because of the melanin in our skin, it acts as a shield. So that shield makes African skin less efficient at utilizing the ultraviolet rays to manufacture vitamin D. So almost all Africans that you can come across are vitamin D deficient, whether they use sunscreen or not. Whereas for Caucasians, they do not have that barrier in their skin. So when the sunlight hits their skin, immediately it produces almost instantly enough vitamin D they need. So almost all their life, they never really have a vitamin D deficiency. There is a link between that and fibroids. And there is also a link between that and certain gynecological cancers and tumors. They are intricately related because they have to do with our estrogen receptors. Now, there are estrogen receptors in the breasts, and there are also estrogen receptors in your womb. That is why the deficiency of vitamin D will not only stimulate fibroids to grow, it can also cause be one of the factors that increase your risk for having breast cancer. The mechanisms are very similar. Now, like I said, whether you use sunscreens or you don't use sunscreens, you are going to be vitamin D deficient. So far, you are an African. Now, to get your daily required dose, I'm telling you why you will likely be vitamin D deficient. To get your daily required dose of vitamin D as an African every day, you'll have to sit in the sun for about 2 hours every day. And to do that is what? Not practical. And since it is not practical and not everybody has the luxury or the time to sit in the sun for 2 hours every day, what happens? We are mostly vitamin D deficient. You understand? So, as an African, don't rely on the sun to give you the required dose of vitamin D that you need. Get it in form of either supplements or your diet. Now, when it comes to sunscreens, I have done a video about sunscreens and I broke it down in details. Please refer to that video because I cannot bring it in here because the video will be too long. As far as sunscreens are concerned, they are actually beneficial for the skin. Why? Because there are different ultraviolet rays. The UVB is not the only ultraviolet rays that come from the sun. There are UVA rays too. Now the UVB makes vitamin D, but the other ultraviolet rays are just as damaging to the skin. So if you do not use sunscreens or find a way to protect yourself from your skin from this damage, what happens? It accelerates skin aging. Now, of course, when you talk about sunscreens, there are people that are totally against it, and there are people that are for it. That's why I did that video about sunscreens, which I said you guys should check out. Now, I take a middle ground. For me, sunscreens are necessary. Why? Because they will protect your skin from aging. Your skin will not age as fast if you screen it from the ultraviolet rays coming from the sun. Okay, they are necessary. But the thing is, you have to choose sunscreens or sunblocks that are healthy, that do not come with health risks, and you have to be selective about them. I did a post about it, so you can check that. Now, in our own case, because what we do is herbal medicine, in our case, what we use for sunscreens are plant extracts that have the ability to absorb UV rays, and they are safe, and they are not linked to things like cancers and all other things that some sunscreens are linked to, and they will protect your skin from the photoaging, that is the aging that comes from the sun. Now, what you should do, which is what I do, is I use my plant-based sunscreens to protect my skin from photoaging, and at the same time I take a vitamin D supplement. If I don't use the sunscreens because I say I want to get vitamin D, I will still be vitamin D deficient because I'm not sitting in the sun for 2 hours every day, and I know I do not have the luxury or the time to do that, so I don't even bother. I take a supplement that gives me enough vitamin D I need a day, and I use my sunscreen to protect my skin from photoaging, and I'm good. So that is the advice I would give. Of course, the data she presented was so beautiful because it buttresses everything that I have said concerning vitamin D and certain diseases that we find in women, because you find out that those ones that are deficient in vitamin D, like African women, are having cancers and tumors of the reproductive system, while the white women that are not deficient in vitamin D, but because they don't have that barrier on their skin, they are having what? Melanomas, which are skin cancers. Yes. So that's my take on it. For more information on safe sunscreens and everything, I've done a comprehensive video about that. Refer back to that video and then watch it and read the captions so you can understand better.